Welcome to TriMet 101. Today we're going to be talking about hybrid buses. I'd like to talk about how they work and what exactly they mean by hybrid and the different forms that you can buy. And there are two different methods of powering a hybrid bus. You've got parallel hybrid and series hybrid. Parallel hybrid buses are not as common nowadays, but it more or less has all the components of a diesel bus and an electric bus, and it allows the bus to run as both at once. It has all the things you'd expect to find, like a transmission, and also has an electric motor to help also drive the bus forward, which helps reduce emissions. And because the parallel hybrid buses would be helped out by an electric motor, the diesel motor can be smaller and quieter, which also helps the rider experience. If you were to buy one, chances are it's going to have an Allison hybrid power system. I believe they're probably the only ones left still making them. I don't even know if Allison is still making them, but one of the more notable areas that has quite a bit of these is the Seattle area, where a lot of their older New Flyer hybrids have the Allison parallel hybrid system. More common nowadays is the series hybrid version, where all components of the bus fall in series. Everything that allows the bus to move is all one thing, powers the next, powers the next, powers the next. It's a series hybrid. And so there are four components to getting a series hybrid bus to work. There's a battery pack, which stores energy to be used by the bus. There's a diesel motor. There's a generator. And there's an electric motor. Those are the four components. You still need diesel fuel to operate these buses, and so the diesel engine, the internal combustion engine, turns a generator. And this generator is what recharges the battery pack. And then the battery pack provides the energy needed to propel the electric motor to move the bus forward. Everything falls in series. So the electric motor pulls power from the battery pack, which is charged by the generator, which is turned by the diesel motor. Everything falls into series. These sort of hybrid buses are 100% electrically propelled. The thing actually moving the bus forward is the electric motor, and that's it. The diesel motor just sits there in the background and just turns a generator to keep the battery charged. That's it. So there are no transmission, there are no real moving parts. It's just the electric motor propelling the bus forward, which saves on emissions big time. Then you could get creative and have all loads in the bus, everything, the lights, HVAC, absolutely everything, controlled fully electrically by drawing power from the battery. And this allows the diesel motor to be shut off when picking up or dropping off passengers, because all the loads are being drawn from the battery pack. So Seattle has plenty of series hybrid buses that do exactly this. I'm going to show you a video of it now. See if you can notice when the diesel motor shuts off, and you'll hear the entire bus shudder to a halt. So what series hybrid options are out there? Well, you've got two big choices, Allison and Hybrid Drive from BAE Systems. My personal preference would be the Hybrid Drive system because they have lots of options out on the table, and it also sounds like an alien spaceship. When equipped on the Gillig buses, it also for some reason makes them incredibly quiet. Although Gillig also seems to like to mask the sound of the hybrid buses with the world's loudest HVAC, so you get experiences like this. New Flyer doesn't do that, and so it's much more crystal clear when hearing the Hybrid Drive system, and I just really like how the whole thing works. get a little more detailed about Hybrid Drive's products. This is not sponsored or advertising or anything, but it is interesting to me. So the first, most basic level is Hybrid Drive Series, which is just the basic, well, series hybrid propulsion system. The vehicle is propelled still 100% electrically, but the diesel motor always stays running because certain loads within the bus take power from the diesel motor portion rather than pulling energy from the battery pack. So the diesel motor has to stay running. Series E allows the engine to be shut off when at a prolonged stop or when picking up or dropping off passengers. Loads within the bus are drawn from the battery pack. Everything is drawn from the battery pack. And this saves on fuel, noise, and emissions. And on TriMet's newer hybrids, 3056 through 3059, the diesel motor can be shut off and the bus can run fully electrically for up to 2 miles. But I don't know if there are other variants that allow for slightly more or whatever. But you also have Hybrid Drive Series ER, which stands for Extended Range. So this not only allows the bus engine to be shut off at prolonged stops, it allows the engine to remain off for extended periods of time so you can drive the bus as a battery electric bus through any sort of terrain where that may be necessary. It's pretty rare to find buses that use the Series ER, but back when Seattle ran buses in the tunnel under downtown, they purchased buses using this form because it's underground in a tunnel where ventilation is of concern and diesel fumes are probably not very good to be breathing in underground. So Seattle equipped some of their buses with Hybrid Drive Series ER so that they could drive fully electrically when in the tunnel. Hybrid Drive also makes 2 forms of propulsion that are not for hybrid buses at all. One of them is the EV. This is complete 100% battery electric technology without the aid of any diesel motor, and from what I understand, it seems like Nova buses are probably where you're most likely to find these. They even do Series H, which is a hydrogen fuel cell version. Now, it's the hydrogen hybrid format where there are still batteries on board to help produce the energy needed to move the bus. But it's true. Hybrid Drive even makes hydrogen fuel cell systems. So for those wondering, if I were to buy and spec up a bus exactly how I want it and what are my favorites, here's how I do it. I would do the New Flyer XDE60, which is an articulated hybrid bus, and I would put in the Hybrid Drive Series E. This is my favorite combination, and I find very, very interesting, especially now that I've been on buses in Seattle, and they do this whole sort of thing where the engine can be shut off at stops. I've found that fascinating, and well, like I said, it saves on fuel and emissions and just makes the rider experience more enjoyable. And I think the New Flyer buses look and sound nice when they are like this. And if you want to get a little taste of Seattle but live in Portland, well, the easiest way I would think to do this is to head on to C-Tran and hop on to the Vine, where you get New Flyer XDE60s. They're the exact same model of bus. Unfortunately, they are just the regular hybrid drive. They don't have Series E or anything. But if you ever get buses 6011 or 6012, those do have Hybrid Drive Series E, but those have not been used for a long time, and from what I understand, they're doing training stuff on that, and they will enter service on some routes soon, probably the 164, and hopefully the 105, but that's a completely different story. Okay, I realize I can talk about this until I turn 71, so I'm going to cut it short here. Thank you for watching.